A very good day to everyone. Today is the 21st of September. It's the feast of Saint Matthew the Apostle, one of the 12 disciples that Jesus chose. And he was known to be a tax collector, a public sinner, and Jesus chose him. But he was transformed in that encounter with Jesus, and he decided to follow Jesus in his own ways and to change completely his life from being a collector of taxes for the Romans to be a proclaimer, someone who announces the goodness of God with his life, an apostle, announcing Jesus. So today the psalm that is chosen is basically a psalm for the feast of any apostle, any of the 12 that we celebrate in the church, in order to help us to understand what was their real role or their central role as apostles. And even today, as we look at apostleship, we turn to them as the example according to the scriptures, according to what Jesus said. So the psalm is Psalm 19, verses 2 to 5, a very short psalm. And the response of today is, their message goes out through all the earth. Their message goes out through all the earth. And so the emphasis today is the word message. The role of an apostle is to proclaim the message through words, but especially through actions and the way we live. So let us read the psalm together. The message goes out through all the earth. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament proclaims his handiwork. Day pours out the word to day, and night to night imparts knowledge. Once again, the response, their message goes out through all the earth. So it's amazing if you look at this first part of the psalm, it's talking about creation. It's like what Jesus said when he was entering Jerusalem, if you remember, and they were shouting, Hosanna in the highest, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. And some of the scribes and the Pharisees said, hey, Jesus, you know what they're saying? You better stop them because that's blasphemous, that's scandalous, that what they're shouting. And Jesus said, if they kept quiet, the stones themselves will shout on my behalf. It's like creation itself is proclaiming the goodness of God. And that's why this psalm invites us, look at the sky. How high and how great is the love of God. And sometimes, have you flown into a plane? In a plane, sorry. Have you flown in a plane? And not into a plane, but in a plane, and looked at the sea? How deep is the mercy of God for us? So even all creation is telling us of the patience, the mercy, and the presence of God. And this is what the apostles are supporting by words, by their lives, supporting what creation is already saying. And then it continues, not a word, nor a discourse, whose voice is not heard. Through all the earth their voice resounds, and to the ends of the world their message. Again, their message goes out through all the earth. So now the second part speaks about the words, the voice of the apostles. That it was because of these 12 initial guys, this little band together with Jesus, that you'll be amazed that there are about 2 billion believers in the world today. I think more than 2 billion, because of this initial 12 guys who went out and started talking about Jesus. And you might ask, what a powerful voice they had. What power did these guys have in order to spread the message so widely and so effectively? And this is the mystery of the good news, the message. It's not them. Well, it's not just them. There's something here greater than the apostles, and that is God himself that is moving them. You just think about it. If you wanted to spread a message with 12 guys, well, you could do it with the media today, but never to have that same effectiveness if it is not really the work of God behind. And this is really the miracle of the church. When I say the church, meaning all Christians, how is it possible that so many believe in God if it were not God Himself who was behind it, and it's a real proof of the existence of our God who came through Jesus Christ. Now, coming back to this response about the message going through all the earth and being an apostle, I'd just like to propose a spiritual exercise for today in this psalm about the message. So the message is not because of our words, the message comes out because the 12 became disciples. And they're just two words I invite you to ponder today. And it's follow me. These disciples, like Matthew in the gospel today, heard these two words from Jesus. Follow me. And I invite you to try to hear these words in your own prayer today. Jesus saying, follow me. And have a conversation with these words from Jesus. If you believe He exists and these are the words of God, dialogue, have a conversation with these words. Lord, where? If I'm supposed to follow you, where? And ask Him also, how? How am I supposed to follow you? And it's very simple, no, these words, but it really brings us into a consciousness of how to be a disciple. Where, Lord? Wherever you are, in your work, in your family, as you are cleaning, as you are cooking in the home, perhaps, as you're working and reading, as you are trying to contribute to society by your endeavors. All these things, even in your sickness, even in the temporary sufferings that we have, follow me. Experience a Jesus who's there asking you to learn from Him. And the other question would be how? How can I be your disciple? How can I follow you here, Lord? And that is where we have to tap on our knowledge of Jesus. How can I follow you as I'm in my home? For example, love. Show mercy. Show tenderness. And it's also in the gospel of today when Jesus says, I don't want sacrifice. I want mercy. Or I want love. So one very simple way to follow Jesus today is not to live life as a sacrifice, although many things are a sacrifice. And we need to make sacrifices for good things to happen. But it's very different to live it out of love. Is it a work of mercy? Is it a work of love or just obligation? So when we learn to live it with Jesus, when we learn to live as His disciples, we start to understand something different about what we're doing, if you get what I mean. And this consciousness that there is someone who is doing the sacrifice with you, and at the same time, He wants to teach you or show you how to live it with love, with kindness, with peace, and with tenderness for God and for others, and also for yourself. So let us ask Him, Lord, where? Let us hear these words today. Follow me. Where, Lord? Wherever you are, He's there. How, Lord? Just look at Him. Spend time to ponder a little how He lives things with love, with mercy, and to enjoy this day, making those little sacrifices and even challenges that we face each day, live it with Him as His disciple.